I have done it. I have solved Star Wars The Last Jedi. I know who The Last Jedi is, why they're The Last Jedi, freaking every major plot point of this film. Coming up right after this. Hey everybody, I'm Taylor from Beard vs. Geek, where I show you it is okay to be a man and a geek at the same time. After analyzing the teaser trailer and the first official trailer of Star Wars The Last Jedi, I've combined my observational skills, my knowledge of how industry storytelling works, as well as how the Star Wars universe works in order to create a theory of what happens in The Last Jedi and all the major plot points. Remember, this is a theory and this is about a month before the film actually comes out in theaters. So we'll be able to find out how correct I am. First off, the beginning of the story. We have Rey with Luke, who is about to hand him the lightsaber. Luke, of course, takes that lightsaber and gets to meet and find out about Rey. That is when Rey tells him that she feels like she is a Force user and asks him to train her. And at first, Luke denies. Of course he denies it. He had just started to rebuild the Jedi, and they were all slaughtered, and Kylo betrayed him, and it was bad freaking news. So he observes Rey while she tries to train herself, and eventually Luke realizes, oh my goodness, this chick is full of potential, and that does scare him.
I've seen this raw strength only once before. It didn't scare me enough then. It does now.
Now, he is scared of it because of the betrayal of Kylo Ren. That is who he was referring to. So, of course, Luke is going to be a little skeptical of Rey and is going to want to put her through some trials before actually training her in the ways of the Force. Now, in order to convince Luke to actually train her, that is where we hear the line,
I need someone to show me my place in all this.
Now, in the trailer, it makes it indicate that Rey is petitioning Kylo Ren in order to teach her the ways of the Force. That is not true at all. That is a red herring. If you look at the background, Rey's background is a almost pure blackness, when Kylo Ren's is fire and ash. So when Kylo reaches out his hand, that is not an invitation to Rey, that is to someone else we don't really know. Now, with the Force, he does say in the trailer,
I only know one truth. It's time for the Jedi to end.
Now, the Jedi does not exist anymore because Luke has learned some new knowledge in his quest for the first Jedi Temple. Because he found the first Jedi Temple, it is underneath his feet in a cave in that island. And in that cave is the oldest text in the universe about the Force and about the Jedi. This is indicated by the branding on the books in the first official trailer. That is the symbol of the Jedi, the really old ones. And he is going to find out that there really is no duality of the Force. There really is no light side, there really is no dark side, but there is just the Force, the living Force. And the living Force is neither good nor bad, and is neither black nor white, but is gray. So Luke, being the last trained Jedi in existence, he is not going to train Ren to be a Jedi and to just use the light side of the Force. Instead, he is going to teach her how to use the Force and how to be responsible with that. And that means being what we would deem as a gray Jedi. One that is not really dark and evil, one that is not all white and pure, but a mixture of the two. And that needs a different category, and that is not going to be called Jedi anymore. Meanwhile, you have Supreme Leader Snoke, who is freaking pissed that his giant planet blower-upper scattershot gun got destroyed by a bunch of stupid little So he has gone all out, and he himself has gone on his giant flagship, as indicated in the very back of the trailer. Here's a blow-up shot of it. That giant freaking ship that we haven't seen before, that is Snoke's personal giant-ass ship. And he is on board that in order to lead the fight against these people who would stand up to the First Order. And he has sent Kylo Ren to track down Luke Skywalker and to crush that remnant, as well as to lead his forces into battle against these, well, rebels. Now, during the last part of Rey's training, she starts thinking about Kylo Ren, and she wants to convince Kylo to not fully turn away from the dark side, but to turn to, well, the actual Force, and to, well, become a gray Jedi like she is. Because that is where she believes is good and right, because she read the most ancient text about the Jedi Order and has been trained by Luke Skywalker that is the only way to really find balance in the Force. Balance in the Force does not simply mean two people on the dark side, two people on the light side. What it means is balance in the Force within the Force wielder themselves, not just on a galactic level. And it is at this point that Kylo tracks down Luke Skywalker and invades that planet in order to take over the temple and to try to kill Luke Skywalker and capture and or kill Rey. And that is when we have the scene of Chewbacca and the half hamster, half penguin guy, and possibly Rey and Luke in the Millennium Falcon escaping from the First Order inside the whole cave crystal thing with the TIE fighter being blown up behind them. That's super cool and actiony. Now, we do know that Rey does get captured by the First Order at some point. Now, that could be because she went to Kylo and tried to petition him to join the gray side of the Force. Most likely it is because she actually got captured and she's brought before Snoke, and where Snoke tries to either lure her to his side of the Force or to torture her for information about Luke Skywalker and the Resistance movement. And that is where we see the scene of him, torturing her in the trailer. Now, if you notice the cutscene where he's reaching out like this, Destiny. He has a very distinctive type of clothing on. And when you cut to the scene of Rey in pain, in the background you see the bottom half of that wardrobe. So we know that Snoke and Rey have some face-to-face time where he is either torturing her or making Kylo do it, and he's trying to get some information out of her or turn her to the dark side of the Force. It's a toss-up about which one. Now, after Rey is captured and tortured, that is where we have the big space battle depicted within the trailer, where Kylo is flying his special shuttle in order to destroy these Resistor Rebellion people. Now, previously, Snoke told him that in order to fulfill his destiny, yes, Snoke was talking to him, not Rey in the trailer, that is when Kylo is determined that he must kill his own mother and commit matricide and not just patricide in order to embrace the Jedi that he really wants to be. During this film, Kylo is going to determine that he is no longer going to live in Darth Vader's shadow. He is no longer going to be an imitator of Darth Vader. Instead, he is going to be bigger, badder, and better than Darth Vader ever was. That is when the symbolic moment where he breaks his helmet and he embraces his own face and lets the universe know, hey guys, I am this big bad mofo, not Darth Vader and not a Darth Vader wannabe.
Let the past die.
So yes, Leia does die, period. I'm sorry, Carrie Fisher died in real life. It's going to cost them an insane amount of money to try to digitally bring that character back in the third film. So unfortunately, to reflect the actual event, the Carrie Fisher's character is going to die during the course of this film. I'm sorry, she's not going to get wounded and be in a hospital somewhere and have someone else take over. She is going to freaking die. They have to do it. If not, it's going to cost them millions of dollars in the next film in order to digitally recreate her, even for a couple of seconds. Now, Finn is going to come out of his little hospital coma thing, and he is going to work with the Resistance, and he is going to try and fail to hook up with Rey at some point, either in The Last Jedi or in the film after that. There is that love interest there. He's going to want to pursue that. Now, Poe Dameron is going to also have a little bit there, but since he's kind of our Han Solo type character in this trilogy, he is really going to fight with the Resistance and to battle that, and Rey's going to be like an afterthought, be like, maybe one day, but most likely I'll never have a chance. Either way, at the end of this trilogy as a whole, what we're going to have is we're going to have the original characters start dying off one at a time in order to make sure that these young actors, that the audience gets in touch and really latches onto these young actors and be able to let go of the original trilogy and move on with the Star Wars franchise as a whole. That is what's going to make the studio billions of dollars. If they're not able to let go of Chewbacca, of Han Solo, of Luke Skywalker, of Leia, and not fully embrace them, that is going to cut into their profits. So that is how they're writing this trilogy and pushing the audience towards latching on to Rey, Finn, Poe, and Kylo, and letting go of everyone else. So by the end of the movie, we have a mixed bag of things. Luke Skywalker may be dead or alive, Chewbacca may be dead and alive. Most likely those two characters will be left alive, only to be killed off in the third part of this trilogy. We have Leia, who's going to be killed off. Sorry, it's going to happen. We have Kylo Ren, who embraces his new identity as main badass guy and is no longer living in Darth Vader's shadow. We have Rey, who has embraced the gray side of the Force, who wants to get Kylo on board, and who is fighting for her own means. Not really the means of the Resistance, more of like a happy medium type of thing, like a gray Jedi would. We have Snoke, who is going to be alive and kicking, and who is going to want to stomp out the Resistance. And we have Poe, who is going to take a more active role in the Resistance and in order to combat Snoke. And we have Finn, who got out of his coma, fought with the Resistance, and who wants Rey. So we have, at the end of the film, we're going to have a mixed bag of things. There is not going to be a clear winner like there was with the last film. So I want to know what you other Star Wars fans and experts think in the comment section down below. Let me know if you agree with my theories and whether or not you think that I did actually solve Star Wars The Last Jedi. And if you like that video, go ahead and subscribe. Great videos are coming out every week, where I show you it is okay to be a man and a geek at the same time. If you want to find out about Jedi having sex, you can click this video right here, or you can click this video for some more awesome manliness or geekiness. Because after all, if the women don't find you manly, they should at least find you geeky. And until next time, don't go shaving on me.